atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on him. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people who busted them, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Twisted Tuesday has begun. We're jam-packed on the program this evening. The Steamroller steps up and in. Rick Saratella. We've got Mo Khan. We've got Andrew McInnes. We've got the Raging Redhead, Cam Stewart. As I stated, we're locked and loaded, jam-packed on the Twisted Tuesday this evening. What takes center stage right now is Luka Doncic and not the Dallas Mavericks, but the Dallas Mavericks take on the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's the first time that they're playing against each other since the deal. Obviously, it would mean more, and, this would be a bigger setting if it was in Dallas, right? It's not. They're playing in Dallas like in April or something like that. We'll see if he even plays in that game. I imagine he would, depending on the situation. Although in the NBA, you never know, right? So as far as this game is concerned tonight, I don't do a lot of the first basket stuff, but I'm going to do the first basket play tonight. Give me Luka Doncic to score the first basket of the game. It's up to plus 450 right now as well. Man, there's no value in Luka's prop, although I will say this. It was 31.5. It's down to 30.5 right now. So you got to get to 31 to crack this number tonight. And he probably does. Except, you're not getting any value here, right? I mean, he's playing against his former team, and everybody wants a piece of Luka Doncic tonight in, like, one way or another with the prop. So we'll see how this plays out this evening. But I think Kyrie Irving has a big game tonight. Number one, the Lakers aren't very good defensively. So don't forget, Luka's not the best defender, right? And neither is LeBron right now. And Kyrie Irving, he's going to go off. So, like, all the talk, it was sort of like Steve Nash. Like, Luka's a lot like Nash in that way, where it's like, oh, you know what, look at all the points he scores. And the coaches and real people behind the scenes will say, yeah, look how many points he gave up. Look how many, points the other dude scored, right, that he was guarding. I saw Kyrie Irving today. He was soaking up the Kobe Bryant statue. He was outside the arena. I think tonight's a Kyrie night. Kyrie's pretty much amazing everywhere except Boston, right? He sucks when he goes to Boston. So I think Kyrie goes over his number tonight. He's 26.5. I think Kyrie goes off tonight. Hell, I think Klay Thompson goes over 13.5 points this evening. Luka Doncic to score the first basket of the game is now plus 450, although I have come around and I couldn't resist, so I grabbed a piece of Luka over 30.5 points. As far as the game itself is concerned, like, listen, you know that the Maverick players are going to be fired up tonight, right? And there's like an assumption the Lakers are just going to smoke them. We talk about this Laker team. It's sort of like all or nothing with the Lakers. They either really win and they cover and they blow you out, or they lose. Like, they don't seem to win a lot of close games. It's all or nothing. So you know you're going to get like an effort from the Dallas Mavericks tonight. They don't want to get lit up, even if they like him. They don't want to like get lit up and let him go off for 44 tonight, even though he probably does. It's a tricky game. I think the Lakers are going to win. You know, we were talking about it earlier in the day with Pharrell, and as far as same game parlays, you know, you could mix it up here. You could take Luka if you like him over the points, as well as Lakers to win. My props with Kyrie to go over 26.5, Klay Thompson over 13.5, and the Lakers winning the game is like plus 900. It's a pretty big payday, actually. Oh, that's what the Lakers covering. The money line is plus 500 right now. The Lakers, so I got a bunch of parlays bouncing around in my head here. I'm looking up right now. I'm like, all right, what are we going to do? We got to decide. Oh, that's why there is in-game betting as well. All right, everybody's all love before the game right now, except Klay Thompson. He always looks mad. Klay's like, yeah, whatever, bro. Good for you. Good for you. There's Austin Reeves ready to rock. I'm surprised that the Collins guy that pulled the deal actually is here tonight. If I was the Lakers, I'd do like a presentation and honor him. I'm going to say that the Lakers cover when it's all said and done. It's down to 7.5 right now pregame. I think it'll be a spirited effort. The Lakers are minus 425 on the money line right now. We talk about the Charlotte Hornets a lot this week, or they've been playing a lot when we're on. They're not covering anymore, so we can sort of scratch them from the list. We got a couple of college basketball games coming up later that we'll attack. Big game for Gonzaga. Gonzaga and Santa Clara. You got New Mexico and San Diego State will hit these games. I got confused earlier today. I was looking, I'm like, oh, SMU and Cal, and I'm like, oh, Ohio State and USC. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm like, oh, no, that's Wednesday. It was part of the board. All right, so the game has begun in Los Angeles at the Crypt. We got a 2-2 game here. There should be some pace to this game. Like I said, this is what you got in-game betting for. So let's just ride it out and see what the numbers is. We got involved with all these player props to start the game, and we'll see LeBron. You figure LeBron's going to be in a sort of a passing mood this evening, right? He'll let Luka go off a little bit. Who was the first basket of the game here? It wasn't Luka. Was it Hachimura? Hachimura. Was it Hachimura with the first basket? Yeah. Full basket here. Hachimura. Yeah, Hachimura makes the 2-point layup. I just want to make sure. Then Klay Thompson hit a shot. So that's a deuce for Klay, baby. And then LeBron James hit a shot. But Rui Hachimura speaking of Gonzaga, with the first basket of the game. This is a big game for Gonzaga tonight. Listen, I'm not sure Gonzaga are on the bubble, but they're on the bubble, like bubble of the bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're sort of there, but they're losing a lot of games. And they've lost to a lot of teams that they shouldn't lose to. Once again, listen, they're always going to find a way to get these teams in. There's always the first four, too, right? But Gonzaga, they don't have a lot of games left, so, like, they need to win. Like, it's a big game for Gonzaga tonight. I don't know who it was. Was it Dave Delano last night? I believe it was Dave Delano last night with us. And I believe he said he was like in Santa Clara, despite Gonzaga's sort of desperation coming in to tonight. So, like I said, we got a jam, we're jam-packed tonight. We got a little bit of something for everybody on the program. We're talking NFL football, Rick Saratella, Combine talk, NFL draft, college basketball talk this evening. We'll track this We'll track this Luka matchup with the Lakers this evening. The Lakers are off and running already right now. Lakers up 9-3 right now. What's the new in game? Lakers are up to 9.5. Total was 230.5 right now. NHL hockey. We've been on quite a tear, man, since the NHL has come back. Just by picking our spots sort of selectively. On Saturday, I only bet one game. I was out on Saturday night. I bet one game earlier today that we talked about immediately following the Four Nations face-off, in which I said the Washington Capitals didn't have a single player in the tournament. They're going to take it personal. They're going to be ready to rock and roll, and they're going to win on Saturday. They did. And then we stepped up. We didn't bet any NHL on Sunday. We stepped up last night. We go 2-0. And then another clean sweep tonight, 4-0. With the late comeback with the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Columbus Blue Jackets continue to roll. We talked about Ovechkin scoring a goal last night. Ovechkin scores a goal again. So we're on a hockey roll. We'll talk some in-game with McKinnis on the other side. There's a lot to break down. Let's roll. This is SportsRage. Bring it.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR listed zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, SiriusXM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. Luka Doncic and the Lakers are taking on the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Big-time NBA game as far as the association is concerned and the matchup. And it is kind of still mind-numbing, actually. Like when you really sort of soak it in, Luka got traded mid-season in the fashion that he did. It was like Super Bowl week, right? I remember we were at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and there's Kyrie for three. We were at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and it was the Durant stuff. And I was in Phoenix at the time. That's the thing. The NFL was like pushed the NBA aside on Christmas Day, but the NBA is getting big time revenge all the time. Super Bowl week with their trade deadline now. But like, it's one thing to trade Luka Doncic. I mean, how Wayne Gretzky got traded, all right? And it should be noted. People always brings up like, oh, Wayne Gretzky got traded. Yeah. And Wayne Gretzky never won another Stanley Cup again. The Edmonton Oilers won like 2 years after they traded him, right? They actually won again without him, right? So players get traded, and sometimes like fans don't like it, but it's sometimes the right thing to do. I'm not saying trading Gretzky at the time was the right thing to do, but understanding sometimes like fans, like, they won't really see things fully, clearly. But my deal is just, if you're going to trade Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, you got to get back more than Anthony Davis, who's always hurt and who's older. And especially like Donovan Mitchell, man, got like freaking 4 first-round draft picks. Like in the new NBA, it's pretty insane. Like teams get like 6 draft picks and 5 this and all of this. They really didn't get very much back. Like I could live with trading Luka Doncic if you said, listen, we got a plan. We're going to sign this dude. We're taking the money. We're doing this and that. But Anthony Davis, man, like really, like, man, trusting Anthony Davis is like, reminds me of a dude named Jimmy in the park that I grew up with. If you gave Jimmy money to go get you some beer or some weed or something like that,
Jimmy gone.
He might come back. He might not. Like, it was like Jimmy, like, oh, I'm going to the store. You want me to get you anything? It's like, Jimmy, are you coming back today? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's like freaking Jimmy didn't come back again. He just took my
like
$20.
our buddy Roy in Hamilton. Yeah. He took our money and he biked away.
That's AD. It's like, yeah, he might be really good, but he might not play. So it's sort of like this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not taking him in a trade. I like AD, but I wouldn't trade him like for Luka Doncic. That's the thing that's just mind blowing to me. But we got Andrew McKinnis in the house, and I'm surprised he's not wearing like Team Canada gear. He's moved on. He's wearing a Toronto Blue Jay hat instead. What's going on, McKinnis? How you doing?
You know what, guys? I just got my voice back today. I barely still have it, but yeah, it was only a 2-day trip. But what a time cheering on Team Canada, and yeah, rocking the Jays hat. Watched some spring training today, but hell of a trip, guys. And you know what? I thought that it'd be kind of a I don't want to say letdown, I guess, but I thought that it'd be hard to get back into the NHL after the hockey we watch, but it kind of made me more excited. Like, I'm just like in such a fun hockey mood after watching that great tournament. Now we're down to the, the playoff stretch. So looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah. One thing, it's a good point. I think a lot of people sort of thought and were worried about that, about, NHL hockey is going to be a rough watch after watching this. And it hasn't. It's been pretty good. And something that I thought too, I think it was Moore on the LA Kings, scored a great goal last night on a tip shot. And I was like, some pretty good players that weren't in the tournament. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how good the tournament was, and like how hard it is to make those teams where it's like, yeah, these guys are pretty good too, man, just because they weren't in the Four Nations. Look at the Washington Capital players, right? Like, there's a lot of good players in the league, but I will say this, and I know it all depends on the market that you're in, yet, so you get this big buzz off the Four Nations, and tonight was a full slate of NHL hockey. I bet 4 games. I won all 4 of them. And I didn't see one of them that I bet on. I was blacked out, and for like every game tonight was blacked out, except for one game, the Edmonton Oilers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ironically, a game that I didn't like and I didn't bet. But the Leaf game was a blackout. The Canadiens game was blacked out. I wasn't expecting to get the Columbus Blue Jacket game tonight, so that that was
blacked
okay.
out from the Habs game? How that doesn't make that's crazy. Like, you're blacked out from the Montreal Canadiens game. That is nuts. Yeah, I hate that.
I'm not in their region. I have to pay.
Exactly.
I would have to. I have to pay, like, point blank, right? But the thing is, dude, I'm blacked out from like every team, and it's a good point that you raised. So like, Montreal's 3,000 miles away from me. Like, what in what world? Like, why would you block me? And another thing is, too, think about it, McKinnis. The Vancouver Canucks aren't even playing tonight. Like, oftentimes, like, everything will be blacked out. But it's like, yeah, because the Canuck game is on, right? But no, right? It's like, it's basically Sportsnet's fault. right? Sportsnet got the rights, and then instead of just showing the games, they started to sell it off. It's sort of like soccer, guys. Remember the good old days, you could watch the Champions League on TV every Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, it's like, no, you need the super soccer package. It's like, well, you got to buy it specifically. It's always like there's always more, right? It's always like, oh, no, but you don't have enough. You got to pay for this channel to get this. And it's so short-sighted from the National Hockey League, right? Good. All I can say is, listen, I've been watching all the NBA games tonight, right? The NBA's on TV. It's ironic that it's like, well, the NBA games are not blacked out, right? But you figure in Canada, you're going to get all these NHL games. No, in Canada, you get blacked out because they want you to pay for each particular team, and there's always regional market deals.
Excellent point.
And it's really frustrating. But people criticize Major League Baseball for being antiquated with their blackout rules, which they stupidly are. Like, people in Las Vegas don't get Dodger games, San Diego games, Angel games, Giant games. Like, they're blacked out of everybody in Las Vegas. Like, why? But we're used to baseball stupidity. Like, the NHL needs to figure this out. But Sportsnet's deal is done soon. So we'll see what happens in the future. But I wouldn't expect much to change. They just don't get it. Like, they get these this big buzz and stuff. It's like, hey, let's black out. If they were smart, they'd say, let's just make all the games for free for the next month and really get people roped in for the playoffs and build the momentum. But they're short-sighted. All right, we'll hit the games on the other side. 1916 Lakers.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not beating the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. The Pips, the players, the hustlers, the people who bust them, everybody else in between. Luka's got 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists right now. So Luka's racking up the stats early. If you recall, off the top of the program, I told you, listen, Kyrie Irving's a great offensive player. You know he's going to be fired up tonight. He's their primary player right now, especially with AD watching on the bench. You basically have Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving. I talked about Kyrie Irving he was walking around outside the arena earlier in the day today, like soaking up the Kobe Bryant statues. And, the crypt is really cool outside with the statues that they have. And so I was like, yeah, Kyrie's going off tonight. I knew all day. Kyrie's going off. Kyrie's got 12 points already. There's still 3 minutes left in the first quarter, and Kyrie Irving's already got 12 points this evening. LeBron's been relatively quiet, actually. Well, LeBron's got 5 points. He's got 5 points and a rebound. All right, our boy McInnes, back from the experience of a lifetime. And I remember Paul Bovey used to go to, like, all the Super Bowls and stuff and, like, NBA Finals and big sporting events. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was going to something, and I told him, I said, man, it's like $1,800 for the tickets or whatever. And he goes, yeah, money comes and goes, but the memory will last forever, right, of being at these events. And I feel the same way, like Michigan and Alabama being at the Rose Bowl was like, it really was just a lifetime memorable experience, a fun time. Being at the Dodgers in the World Series and being lucky enough that they won and Freeman hit the grand slam right in front of me, was epic. And then you get to live that experience. And it really worked out perfectly for you because you could have went to the game on Saturday in Montreal, would have cost you more money, would have been a big disappointment watching them lose live. And then there's the big gamble that you took that, man, I even kidded with you before the tournament when I said, oh boy, I said, bold move, but man, imagine if it ends up being Finland and Sweden, right, in the final, which, who knows, it could have been. And then going into the final Monday there, we didn't even know, you know what I mean? It was like, wow, like they might actually not make it for real. Then they actually make it, and you got good seats in advance. And then the tickets skyrocket, and then you're there for for one of the most memorable goals in international, another added to the list of Canadian moments. You were there live. You really can't top that, McInnes.
Gabe, just an unbelievable experience. And like you said, you just can't ever, look at these memories and say, oh, I regret spending the money.
And you even enjoyed it with your dad. See, I just would have been all wasted by myself getting into it with people and stuff. Like, you were like, you know what I mean? You enjoyed it with your family.
That's so cool. You're right, McInnes. Like very few people get that opportunity, like something that big with your father. Like that's really special, bro. And your Canadians break a 10-game losing streak against Carolina tonight, Gabe. McInnes is on fire.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys, just like the moment getting to the airport, even we ended up changing our flight. So I left the day of the game so that way we didn't have to leave the next morning. We were going to be too hungover and too tired. So we left the day of the game. We're at the Halifax airport. I'm telling you, half the plane had Canadian jerseys on, whether they were actually going to the game or just happened to be going to Boston. Met two guys at the airport gate that said, oh, yeah, we didn't even tell our wives yet until we were on the way to the airport. We bought tickets last minute, got the last flight possible, didn't even pack a suitcase. They said, I'm going to buy a toothbrush in Boston, got the cheapest hotel possible. We're going. So the second we get there, we get to the, then we drop off our luggage to the hotel. I told my dad we're in section 304, the last row up, end up being in section 4, like 20 rows up. He loved it. All the stuff he did for me when I was younger, now get to take him to that. And the best part was, our section was where Canada only shot once. So he looks at me and says, overtime, you know what that means? They're switching ends. So Connor McDavid right below us where we're sitting, game-winning goal, unbelievable. And the really cool part, guys, is, usually when a game is over, you just leave. Like you go to a bar, you go out to eat, you do whatever. People on the concourse level, the lower bowl, I must have heard "Oh Canada" get sung 15 times. Ole, ole chants, na, 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 na chants, everybody high-fiving. I made so many friends from Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, all these places. So you feel so much pride. Didn't matter which NHL team they cheered for, where they were from. You just felt pride being there. I will say one bar wouldn't let us in because of capacity. And then 20 seconds later, a guy with an American jersey gets in and they said, come on in, buddy. And my dad's like, what the hell? Why can't we get in there? And then some girl
sounds
comes
like a
over
lawsuit.
and goes, this bar is not for you guys.
This bar is not for you guys.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not beating the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. 27-20 for the Lakers right now. The game, the pace has slowed down a little bit in the first quarter. There's about a minute and a half left right now. All right, so game's going on. We got a couple of blowouts rolling right now. The St. Louis Blues are cracking the Kraken 7-2. The Florida Panthers are up 4-1 on the Nashville Predators. The Predators, just a disastrous season for them. And the Chicago Blackhawks are up 1-0 right now on the Utah Hockey Club. Any in-game action for you, McInnes? 1-0. That's the game that's got the most left, and there's 4 minutes left in the second period, and Chicago are winning 1-0 right now on Utah.
Yeah, the only two games I have action on right now, I've got Lakers first half -5, and then I have the over 6 in this Chicago game, which looks absolutely brutal. So now I'm trying to figure out, do I jump in on the in-game again, or do I just take a look at +110 on Utah? Because we're at the time of year, guys, in the NHL and the NBA where teams like Utah have to win these type of games. And I know we always say, everybody says this, must win doesn't mean will win. I'm aware of that situation and that expression. But at the end of the day, if Utah is fighting for a playoff spot right now, we're getting +110. Chicago are known choke artists. I'm kind of interested in jumping in here at this point. We're pretty much, 3.5 minutes to go in the second period, only down 1 goal, and you're going to give me +110 on a team that was, heavily favored pre-flop. I think I'll jump in on that one right now on this team to win it. So I'll take Utah Hockey Club +110. And I'll tell you what, the pace I'm seeing from this Lakers game, obviously I'm on here with you guys. I'm trying to keep an eye on things here. I think it's worth it to look at the in-game over in the Lakers game. I think this game is going to turn into a game at the park outside, just back and forth. Their basketball. This might be like a 12-second shot clock type of night here. These guys are not utilizing the shot clock. When you go from watching a really properly run college basketball offense to just the pick and roll 10-second shot clock NBA offense, it's way different. I mean, right now, these two teams are just trading chances, and I think we're going to see the pace continue here in a Lakers game. Wouldn't mind an over there.
I think it was 220.5. Like I said, this game slowed down. If you're Dallas, you want the frantic pace, right? You're younger, you don't have as much talent, so you just sort of want to get it running. The thing is, Luka walks the ball up the court so much. And LeBron walks the ball up the court quite a bit. So after the first quarter is 28-20, you're going to get some value. We'll see what they repost it right now. You want it over. Dear God, guys. How about this? In-game totals, 296.5. Phoenix Suns and the Memphis Grizzlies. It's 140 to 139. They're in overtime. 299.5 right now is the total.
Can we get a 300? It's amazing. I'm with McInnes, though, Gabe. I think we should jump in on Utah. It's a nice little price. By the way, very similar to the Kings game. It was like in the third period, things opened up. I actually have a lean to the over 3.5, too, in that game. You know, you get one goal, things can get very interesting there, but I'm going to take Utah and a little sprinkle on the over 3.5 live, guys.
At first half over 107.5 right now, guys. That's a decent, even though I don't like double dipping. I'm already on the first half -5 for the Lakers. And you talk about buying low a little bit, Gabe. I get it, the walking up the court, but 107.5 feels like a pretty good number. So I like that one quite a bit. And Cam, let's ride. I like it. Go Utah.
Let's do it.
Team totals, as you were talking about. So, McInnes, you said you're watching the Blue Jays in spring training. I like Max Scherzer's comments today. And he said, we're humans. Can we just have humans, like, as umpires? I like Max Scherzer's old school attitude of not being down with this new.
But then he argued. He argued a call. Right away, he said that. And then he argued a call. Is he lying to us?
He's a surly dude, Max Scherzer. But Scherzer doesn't like. That's the one thing I like about Scherzer is he hates all this stuff. Like he was against the pitch clock. He's been against every change that they've made that he's criticized it at the time. But whatever, it is what it is. But I told people, and listen, I haven't been killing it in spring training. I haven't really bet that much. But I brought this up before it started. And here we are. And I said, it's very random. Like I've heard people say, oh, you got to know who's playing and who's not playing. It doesn't matter who's freaking playing. It really doesn't matter. Like, dude, the Dodgers start players and then they're out in the second inning and whatever, dude. Like, by the time you get to the 7th, 8th inning of these games, it's just like pure all-out chaos. But you get hot and cold teams. It just is. It just works out this way every year. The Dodgers aren't winning. The Dodgers are 1-5, guys, in the spring training. The Chicago White Sox sucked last year. They haven't won a game yet this year. It's continued. Like, they gave up a home run off their head over the wall the other day. Like, it's been bad news bears to start the season for them. How about this, guys, for the White Sox? They've been outscored 36-12 in 4 exhibition games. That's like hard to do, actually. Like, that's like bad. The Cubs are 6-0. The Royals are 4-0. The Rockies are 4-1. The Blue Jays are 3-0. The Nationals are 3-0. Like I said, the Grapefruit League hasn't played as many games as the Cactus. So the Cactus, you have a couple of more trends here. The Dodgers are 1-5. The White Sox are 0-4. D-backs are 1-4. Rangers are 1-4. Cubs are 6-0. Royals are 4-0. Rockies are 4-1. Angels are 3-1. Are you betting on the spring training baseball at all? I wish I was betting on the Blue Jays. Would be 3-0 right now.
Yep.
Well, I think it's funny. I hear a lot of like MLB handicappers, like guys that are just all in on it. They talk about how you can't bet totals in spring training. And for me, it's literally over the past few years during spring training, it's been quite the opposite. Like I enjoy betting on totals. And today I had the under 9.5 in the Blue Jays game. I'm not going to tell you it was sweat free. There was like 2 or 3 times bases were juiced. I'd be lying to you if I told you it was an easy win. But I think sometimes you look at these games, right, and people look at, well, it's spring training. There's going to be a ton of runs in every game. But here's the thing. To your point, like, for example, Scherzer went, I think, like 2 or 3 innings or like 2 1/3. So, like, obviously he's not going to be the pitcher the whole entire game. So you need to kind of take a look at who they expect to come up a little bit. You're also looking at the rosters. But at the end of the day is that not every game they're going to just light it up. So, like, I like to look towards these totals. And then as far as, the players that really have something to prove, those are the guys that are swinging for the fences. Like, sometimes I notice the guys that are experienced, they're just looking out there for singles. Some of these guys that are trying to make the team and trying to make good impressions, they're the ones swinging for the fences. So I'm actually mostly a totals better when it comes to MLB spring training. I had the under today. I had the over in the Astros game. And you see some of these guys out there just swinging for the fences. So obviously you can pick your spots, but the biggest thing I'll tell people is the odds makers are placing these odds on these games due to starting pitching. That's what we always say, especially during the regular season, the playoffs. But if they're doing it in the preseason, guys, and Scherzer's going 2 innings, you know, you could take a look at the dog in some of these. Dogs are where you can make a lot of money in the spring training because these posted odds are based all around the starter, and the guy's only going to stick around for 2.5 innings. And then you got plus 120 because Scherzer was the starter. So obviously the Jays won today with Scherzer as the starter, but he, you know, didn't even play half the game.
Yeah, but these games are really won by players that no one knows who they are, right? Like they're no Major League Baseball starters are ever in these games, especially early right now. They will be later in spring training, but like they're literally getting an at bat or two. And for me with totals, I think a good way, a recommendation, guys, for spring training is when games are sort of lower scoring early, jump in on the in-game over. Like I don't have the numbers in front of me right now of this year, like overall, like overs and unders. There hasn't been that many games yet, but looking at today, you know, guys, there's a ton of runs in these games, man. Like from the 7th inning on to the 9th inning, you get pitchers that are A-ball pitchers. You get dudes that can like crush the ball, but they're not very good at anything else, but they can smoke the ball over the wall. And you get these high games. Like Rockies won 14-3 today, 7-5 A's over the Giants, 11-5 Mariners over the Dodgers, Brewers 9, Guardians 6, Royals 15, Rangers 6, Nationals 14, Marlins 7. Right? Like, you know, like football scores. Houston Astros 8. Mets 5. Time is flying by. Andrew McKinnis, wagertalk.com.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. We're just not beating the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. Thanks, Andrew McKinnis, for joining us. We had to run McKinnis. We got the steamroller stepping up, and then we'll see what Scott thinks about the late night college basketball. But we were talking NHL hockey, a little spring training, baseball. Like I said, there's always just these random teams that get good in spring training. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean they're going to be good in the regular season. But you just sort of try to ride the hot hand. And like we said, the Blue Jays are somewhat of the hot hand right now. So 40-32 for the Los Angeles Lakers. In-game total is 223.5. There is a pace to the game, actually. The only thing is the Lakers are old. Like, so I know I've been suckered in by this a couple of times this year, guys, where I'll bet an in-game over with the Lakers, and by the time the fourth quarter comes, like, they're really a lot slower. Like LeBron just threw it up the court quickly here. They are playing sort of all-star style tonight a bit. Like, they are going up and down the court, but they slow down a lot, right? That's the problem. They do slow down a lot. So we got a 42-34 basketball game. Are we going to get to 300? We're at 299 right now, Cam. 151, 148. They're getting close. Yeah, one more basket. They're going to crack 300. Memphis and Phoenix.
What do we got? 5 seconds left? Yeah, I think we'll get there, Gabe.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I didn't bet this game. I'd like to see Phoenix, though, hit a 3 and send this thing to double. Send it to another overtime and tied at 151.5. And really,
exactly.
Really get some points. Really put some points up on the board.
I know what the crazy thing is, Gabe. We talked about Charlotte, how bad they are. See the number, like I did in game live, and we're like, what number like would it take me to take Charlotte? I'm thinking like 27.5. They're already down 15. Like it's a train wreck on this trip, buddy. They're losing by margin every single night. Smoke.
They were covering. They were a covering machine, and then they went into Los Angeles last week. And they beat the Lakers outright. And I remember I took them like plus 13.5, plus 14-point underdogs. And it was just like, whatever, we'll hold our breath and hope for the best here. And they actually pulled off the upset against Luka and the Lakers. And since then, like, they've just been getting lit up. They lost by 54. They got smoked the other night. Last night, they sort of hung around. They ended up not covering. They were down. They tried to come back. Tonight, they were getting 17.5. They're down by 15 right now. And they're getting 20.5. I believe the Steamroller ready to step up and in. Steamroller in the house. What's going on, Scott? How you doing tonight?
Of course, we have to talk about that stupid Charlotte-LA game last week. Absolutely. I'll tell you what.
Charlotte's best game of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
I took the Lakers in that game. Since then, the Lakers have been unbeatable, and Charlotte has looked like absolute dog crap. So you're welcome to everybody that's been back in those teams.
Yeah, basketball. Basketball is a tough sport, man, to bet on. And we're in the basketball season. Now, a good example, I warned people, I didn't bet the game, but I knew it was a trap. I should have just taken it myself with the Georgia Bulldogs today. But this time of the year, guys, in college basketball, it's all over the place. Like, people get shocked. Oh, I can't believe this team lost. I always talk about people aren't looking ahead on the schedule and stuff like that, but if you're a college basketball team, you're aware, like, that March Madness is around the corner, right? So it's like, all right, guys, like, the tournament is nearly here, but you're supposed to get up, like, for, like, you know what I mean? You're supposed to get up to go to Georgia and then get up for the SEC Conference Championship game and then get up for the March Madness after. It's asking a lot of these teams, and you can catch them taking a pedal off the metal and sort of looking ahead and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And then you get these other teams, you know, the Georgias of the world and stuff that, like I saw tonight, someone reported out or tweeted out after. I thought they were right. They said, well, Mike White just, like, got another year or two out of his contract with this win. Probably backdoors the tournament with a big resume win, right? It's wild, Scott. You get, like I said, you get teams that are putting it all in, like the Indianas of the world are suddenly getting hot at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Big-time teams get caught looking ahead. It's a tricky time to bet college basketball now.
Yeah, you can really get caught up in trends, and you got to really, this time of year especially, you have to really pay attention to what trends mean something and which ones don't, because you're absolutely right. You've got all these teams that have kind of, you know, Houston has kind of looked that way. They can look like world beaters when they want to, but they've been struggling lately. The one exception to the rule seems to be Duke, who seems to just be on a personal mission to kick everybody right in the teeth every game. I laid the 22.5 points tonight. I'm not proud to tell you that, but I just thought that was yeah, but they've just been absolutely devastating, and Miami is so bad, just an absolutely dreadful team. So,
you know what's crazy with as good as the SEC has been? I saw a tweet tonight from it was BetMGM only, but it was it's like, you know, 70% of the bets to win the championship type of deal are on Duke, not the SEC teams. Wow. Like, Duke is going to be a big liability for teams, for sports books come tournament time. Because people think, well, the SEC are going to cannibalize each other. They're going to end up playing each other at some point during the tournament and stuff. They're not going to set it up like with the bracket where it's going to be like 4 SEC teams. right? And Duke are just a menace to society, like right now, right? You know what I mean? They're, like you said, they're out for blood. They're rolling teams. And they're, they've got NBA caliber play. I mean, hell, they got the top pick in the draft, right? So they're a scary ass team. Like, I'd rather Duke than the SEC teams coming into this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're certainly playing better ball. I mean, you look at Auburn, and they're the other team that's playing really good ball right now, but they're not playing at the level Duke is. I think if Auburn and Duke played on a neutral court right now, Duke could be about 3.5, 4-point favorites. But Gabe, every year there is one team that looks like they're just going to dominate the tournament and run right through it. We saw it with Gonzaga. We've seen it with this Duke team before. We've seen it with KU. All these teams that finish strong, they look like they finally got it figured out. They are unbeatable. We saw it with Houston, and they hit the tournament, and something happens. They win a couple games, but they don't get to the show, and that's you got to be careful with teams like that, and you got to look for the teams that they're going to match up with.
There's a formula. Mark Lawrence has had the formula right for like 23 of the last 25 years. And the two times it wasn't right, it was UConn that broke it up. There really is. It's crazy. Like, there's a formula for who's going to win the NCAA tournament. You got to score more than 74 a game. You got to give up less than, there's a serious recipe that only a few teams make the cut every year, and it's amazing. Right. How accurate. Yeah. It's mind-blowing on a yearly basis. And, there'll be a handful of teams that make the cut this year. There's a lot of really good statistical teams.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not beating the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. All right, so speaking of the tournament, we've got a couple of big-time games coming up here this evening. Cam, I don't know if you're betting Gonzaga, Santa Clara. Gonzaga laying 6.5. The total is 163. Do you have a pick, Cam? Gonzaga, Santa Clara.
I actually like Gonzaga, and you know me, Gabe, I like home dogs. Actually, I was on Georgia tonight, which was good. Didn't think the outright, I took the points, but I think Gonzaga rebounds. Big loss to St. Mary's right there. I think they come back and get it done. I know it's a lot of points, but I like the Zags to win this game by like 8-12, so I think they cover the 6.5. Give me Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, Scott, are starting to run out of racetrack a little bit as far as seeding is concerned. They're not on the bubble, but they're going to have a lot lower seed than they're used to, and they don't have they don't have a lot of basketball left, so they need to start to end strong here. Santa Clara did beat them earlier this year, 103-99 in a straight-out track meet. Santa Clara have had a lot of success, 8-2 against the spread. They've been a covering machine. They've actually been playing pretty good basketball. What are your thoughts on this game tonight?
Well, I like that Santa Clara team. They've been doing a nice job on the defensive side of the ball. I think 6.5 is about right. I wish you Godspeed on that play.
Thanks, Steamroller.
Yeah, gun to my head, I'm probably going to take Gonzaga there, but it's not a real strong play for me. This Santa Clara team has jumped up and bit me before, and if they've got their mind right and they're playing their game, they can definitely get the job done.
I'm going to go with the home dog here. I'm going to take the 6.5 points with the home dog, and I like the over this game, except the odds makers are not playing around. It's 163.5, but it should be a track meet. Like, this Santa Clara offense has really been rolling. We talked about them putting up 103 on Gonzaga on the road. They hung 109 in their last game at Washington State. Pretty impressive. They just hung 109 freaking points. It's more than like NBA team score. Like the Santa Clara offense, they're just, pedal to the metal. They're playing with house money, and this would be a massive win for them tonight. Listen, Gonzaga, you could say, listen, they're 6-2 on the road, but I think this is a tricky game for them. I'm going to take the points in this one. And then the last one here, I see everybody in the world seemingly likes New Mexico in this game today, but, to me, this game's just kind of a toss-up game, Scott. I don't know if you got an opinion on the Lobos and the Aztecs.
I like the Aztecs there. I thought I think this is a team that knows how to get it together at the right time of the year. They're playing pretty good basketball. They had a little stumble against Utah State on the road last week, but they've been a nice team at home. They took care of business against Boise State in a big way a couple of weeks back. Of course, they beat Fresno. Of course, everybody beats Fresno, but this is a team, I think, at home. I like them. I'll lay the 2.5 here tonight.
They haven't played. Remember, I took New Mexico plus the points at Boise State. Feels like it was forever ago. It was on the 19th. And Boise State ended up pulling away and winning 86-78. New Mexico, I'll tell you, New Mexico are the trend. That's the trendy hipster play of the day today. The Lobos plus the points. It's 2.5. Cam, what are you doing with this game?
I'm with you guys. I think the Aztecs are in the spot. I don't like the fact that everyone's on New Mexico. Rather have them in the pit than on the road. Steamroller's right. San Diego State, it's almost a pick'em situation here, Gabe, and I think they'll step up here. That's the whole thing. I like to take the Lobos at home, but Sheriff Lobo on the road at a very low spread like this, I think we got to ride the Aztecs of San Diego State. I'm with the Steamroller here.
And the LA Lakers have gone on a 13-3 run in the last 2.5 minutes. They're starting to pull away right now, 55-39. They're up by 16 with 3.5 left in the first half. The Mavericks haven't scored a basket in a minute and 50 seconds right now. Did you play this Luka return game tonight, Scott?
No, the Lakers are dead to me for another week or so. After
That's a grudge.
Yeah, like you said, but they beat Denver by 23 the other night. Now they're rolling again.
Yeah, they're absolutely playing the best basketball in the league right now. So thank you very much.
That's great.
I think it'll be about 4 more days for them.
Here's Luka Doncic with like a no-look pass right now. The hype. Tell you, a couple of wins, man. The Lakers are the type of team, like their numbers just going to keep on dwindling to win the championship. I'm still not fully buying the hype. This is all fun and stuff, but like I said, once the playoffs come, the Lakers, they're going to have defensive issues. Hitthepick.com. Scott Steen, where can people find you online?
You can find me over on all the socials at Steenroller. You can find me on X, Instagram, all that good stuff. And you can find me at my own YouTube channel, Steenroller Picks. Check that out as well.
All right. Scott Steen with us. Rick Saratella joins us next. We've got our boy Mo Khan coming up a little bit later on. We're jam-packed this evening. We talk NFL Combine, NFL Draft, and more next.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not being the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Twisted Tuesday. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, the Rick Saratellas, and everybody else in between. The Combine is here. We go from the Super Bowl to the Combine. Before we know it, it'll be the NFL Draft, and then training camp, and then preseason, and then boom, the cycle continues. There is no offseason in the National Football League, and the NFL world is converging in Indianapolis, Indiana. This week for the Combine. Rick Saratella, allaccessfootball.com in the house with us. Rick, and also the founder of the NFL Draft Bible, allaccessfootball.com. Rick's working on his paperwork to get to Indianapolis later in the week, some transportation issues. Although I got to tell you, considering that every time you turn the news on, it looks like there's another plane crash. Rick, I think I'd rather skateboard, right?
Yeah. No, I'll tell you,
I've been flying a lot recently, and every time I'm like, ugh. I used to never be nervous. Not nervous, really, but now I'm like, all right, I just got to hope that out of all the planes in the air, that this isn't the one, that this isn't the one. But all kidding aside, I'm glad the Combine is here. Let's talk some football.
Yeah, Gabriel Morency, there's no off season. I was first worried about the drones. Now there's other travel woes and
It's always something, man.
We're trying to move and groove our way out to Indianapolis. But I tell you, man, the smokescreen season is fully underway. It began with Matthew Stafford. Now you hear Myles Garrett could be on the move. Hey, Howie Roseman said, call me maybe. A lot of shenanigans going. How about Rob Gronkowski now? They're talking about maybe coming out of retirement to come play with Sean Payton in Denver, who we made friends with the year in the Fox Sports. Just a lot of rumor mills and whispers happening in those Indianapolis wins downtown.
Let's start off actually with the New York Giants, who have the third pick in the draft. There's no secret that they do really, really, really like Shedeur Sanders, but are they concerned that Sanders isn't going to be there with the third pick, and or is there a debate in the front office? Do they really believe that they're a Matthew Stafford away from being good? Right? That's what I don't really fully get here. And for the record for everybody, the Los Angeles Rams gave permission to Stafford and his people to talk to other teams. It doesn't mean he's automatically going to get traded, but they said, see what's out there and see if if you're comfortable with something, and we'll see if we can make something work. So it looks like the Los Angeles Rams are willing to let Stafford move on for the right price right now. Now, I heard they wanted a first-round draft pick, which seemed a little bit excessive to me. What do you think? What are you hearing about the New York Football Giants and Stafford?
Well, Stafford's been playing on a hometown discount there in Los Angeles, so he now wants $50 million per year. Before Los Angeles is going to go ahead and extend him, they're going to listen to the wire and try to take advantage of quarterback-needy teams such as the New York Football Giants. And look, they need a quarterback. They're in between a rock and a hard place, because not only do you have to give up at least a first-round pick, I would imagine, for Matthew Stafford, then you got to go and sign him to an extension or give him $50 million per year. So would you rather have Matthew Stafford and or Travis Hunter? Would you rather have Matthew Stafford and still draft a Shedeur Sanders? Like, the Giants really have to look at themselves in the mirror and re-examine their whole philosophy. With that being said, Joe Shane and Brian Daboll are on this extremely short leash now to operate. Like, if they don't get it done this year, they're both going to be gone. So can they really afford to sign a quarterback and draft a quarterback? I think it's one or the other. The free agency happens before the draft. So if Stafford signed, I think it takes them out of the Shedeur Sanders equation. If he doesn't go to the Giants, then I think they're all in on Shedeur Sanders.
When you look at, I know you don't build your team for what other teams are doing, but you kind of do when you're talking about a division, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at this division, and Washington have a quarterback, bro, and Jaden Daniels right now, like for real, like for the future. The Philadelphia Eagles are literally the champions, so they're still going to be a load to deal with for years. And then you've got Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. So where I'm going with this, if I was the Giants ownership, I wouldn't be trading for Matt Stafford. I'd be like, we're getting one of these young quarterbacks. We're getting Shedeur Sanders or we're getting Cam Ward, and we'll have a guy to develop. And they already have Malik Neighbors but like you said, I mean, how long is this leash for Daboll and Shane? Evidently, it's pretty long, Rick. They keep screwing up. I wouldn't really trust them anymore, to be honest with you, if I was running the New York Football Giants. So Daboll doesn't really like young players to begin with, right? So he probably wants Stafford. Hey, we can win. We got Malik Neighbors. I'm not going to dispute it. I mean, hell, Neighbors was a beast with bad quarterbacks, right? So I sort of see both sides of it, but I don't think you're that good. You're not just a quarterback away from being a really good football team. I would go with the young quarterback.
Yeah, I don't see where like these foundational building blocks are on the roster. There's not like all the talent to build around.
You got Malik Neighbors, okay? Other than that, and what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Malik Neighbors and a lot of praying. And so, but based on what you said, though, you could state a case like, hey, all these quarterbacks, you got to win the division. Well, Travis Hunter, maybe he's the eraser of a Jalen Hurts, of a Jaden Daniels, of a Dak Prescott. Maybe you get your lockdown corner with Travis Hunter, although, any way you slice or dice it, the Giants are not going to be contenders next year. So I just, good luck to them. I thought it was terrible to bring back Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. I'm embarrassed for the organization just being from New Jersey. It's terrible.
You're embarrassed to be from New Jersey. Speaking of which, after the debacle of last year in which Joe Shane was on camera saying that the Philadelphia Eagles don't want Saquon Barkley and don't worry about it.
They're out.
Yeah, and now, Rick, no one wants to do the off-season Hard Knocks thing. Like, we're not doing that. You can only just look. You can only look bad after that debacle. Like, what a debacle! The updated odds right now, guys: Cameron Ward -160 be the top pick in the draft. Abdul Carter is +165 to be the top pick of the draft. Travis Hunter is +800 to be the top pick in the draft. Now you get Tennessee; they're going to have to figure something out as well, Rick. Right? I mean, I don't get the feeling they're in love with the quarterbacks, to be honest with you. But they can't really keep Will Levis, right? Let's say you draft Travis Hunter, you've got to bring a quarterback in. And I know Aaron Rodgers is out there. You know, from a betting perspective, I thought Aaron Rodgers in Tennessee actually wasn't a stupid bet. It was like plus 1,400, Rick, 14-1. But no one knows what Tennessee are going to do.
Well, they did flirt with Aaron Rodgers last go-around. Chad Brinkner, who we talked about now, has a relationship coming over to that front office there. And so, you know, I saw the general manager, the new general manager, did comment on Travis Hunter today at the Combine and said, we believe he's a cornerback first. Andrew Berry said we think that Travis Hunter is a wide receiver first. So, again, I don't know if it's just smokescreen season or that Ivy League degree has got in the way of Andrew Berry seeing actual real football. But I do think that Tennessee prefers Abdul Carter to Travis Hunter, I believe. And I do think Aaron Rodgers is seriously in play here. Now, I think Rodgers is a candidate for the Rams, too. Should they part ways with Stafford, Rodgers would love nothing more to end his career in L.A.
My team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be in the place that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not being the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Twisted Tuesday continues. I am Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. We spoke about the New York Giants as long as Rick is in New Jersey right now. I'll ask him about the New York Jets and what the word is there. Mel Kiper has the Jets getting Shedeur Sanders in his latest mock draft. I've seen others saying that the Jets will try to trade up to get Cam Ward. You know, listen, this is clickbait time right now, and everybody's just speculating, Rick. But what are your thoughts on the Jets? You and I talked about Justin Fields potentially being a fit for them. What are your thoughts on the Jets right now? What are you hearing?
Well, I mean, you would imagine that they do want to go towards a young quarterback because they just got rid of a veteran quarterback who played very well down the stretch. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' last 10 games, they were pretty good. So there's really not a veteran quarterback on the market that's going to be considered an upgrade. So I do think they have to go.
What about Matt Stafford? Can you imagine the irony if they go from Rodgers to Stafford? The other New York team steps in.
I mean, it'd be hard to understand the logic because you got to pay twice as much, right?
Yeah, I don't see it. I'm just saying, that's why Justin Fields made sense, or you draft a quarterback, right?
Like Rodgers was only due 27 or 23 million. I say only because like Stafford's going to cost 45 or 50 million.
They just didn't want him in the room anymore, bro. They just wanted a new room, right?
The funny thing is the Jets would probably die to have Sam Darnold as your quarterback, right? It's just unbelievable. So, with that being said, I don't think there's going to be a quarterback hanging out for the Jets when they come up on 7. I think they're picking, right? So they would have to trade up, obviously, to get their guy. And I don't think they have enough to move up to the first pick. The Giants certainly aren't going to trade with them and give them the quarterback that they want. So they probably have to land somewhere. They have to wait and play the waiting game. If one of the quarterbacks slides beyond 4, which I don't think will happen, I think then the Jets might be in the mix to move up. I just don't know. Like, are they really willing to give up this year's first and next year's first in order to go and get that guy? That's what they're looking at.
So now the new combine, the modern combine, the top prospects don't really do anything. They'll meet with people. They'll show up. They'll talk with people, but they don't work out. And the pro day has sort of become just, Shedeur Sanders said, I'll do the pro day, but he's not working out. But it always gives an opportunity for other players to climb the board, and we see it on a yearly basis. Now, you and I have talked about Jackson Dart, who seems to be a pretty trendy player coming into Indianapolis right now to potentially become that Bo Nix type, right? No one really thought Bo Nix was getting drafted 12th last year, right? And next thing you know, he did. Now, I know you said on this show a couple of weeks ago you think that Jackson Dart has played himself, and not really played, it just is. It's the market that he's going to be a first-round draft pick. What about some of the other quarterbacks out there? Like Will Howard, actually, not being talked about very much, and Kyle McCord, another player that I think has a chance. I'm not talking about being a starter in the NFL, but you have a good week here right now, and suddenly you're getting drafted in the 4th, 5th round, right?
Yeah, or maybe even higher. I mean, like I look at a guy like Will Howard, right? And he opted out of the Senior Bowl because of the college football national championship was the week prior. But you think about Chip Kelly's there with the Las Vegas Raiders. They're picking at number 6. They're probably going to miss out on that first-round quarterback. But, last time the Eagles picked 32nd, they traded out of that spot to the Ravens at 32, and the Ravens traded up for Lamar Jackson. So would the Raiders want to move up and maybe target a guy like
Jalen Hurts was taken in the 2nd round, right? He just won a Super Bowl for them.
Dak Prescott, I think, was a 3rd-round guy. You mentioned some of the guys like Jackson Dart. Apparently, I was in Mobile, and Jackson Dart was this – ultimate riser down there at the Senior Bowl. I mean, I missed it. I was there all week, but apparently he was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whether it's true or not, it becomes reality, right? That's what I'm saying.
And then you got these guys like Tyler Shuck out of Louisville, the 7th-year senior. All of a sudden, you got guys like Louis Riddick coming out of the woodworks and calling him a first-round quarterback and the best quarterback in the draft. I mean, I went down to Louisville camp. I went there in person and checked him out. He's not a first-round quarterback, guys. I'm sorry to tell you.
No.
Kyle McCord, go turn on the Boston College game and watch those 5 interceptions, okay? And then tell me if he's a franchise. I mean, that's a bad taste to get out of my mouth, that Boston College game. And McCord's from Jersey. I mean, I was here 3 years ago telling you he might be a first-round pick. I want to believe in the kid, but I just don't see it. To me, it's Milroe for the upside. It's Will Howard.
That's who it opens the door up for. I was going to say Milroe, who stock is not hot right now. Let's just be real. People want to like Milroe, and he's not giving us a reason to do it, right? I put my hand up. I said before this year started, Jalen Milroe will be a top 10 pick. He's going to be a trendy player. He was just too inconsistent, and they didn't even want him back in Alabama. And now in this whole process, he hasn't looked good, but he's going to do the drills, and no one else really wants to. And he is the type of guy that could do well in a combine setting, actually. He's got a lot to prove this week, this kid.
Yeah, and, I'm going to be curious to see if Jalen Milroe runs the 40, because if he runs the 40, then it might hurt him where teams will start thinking of him as a wide receiver, because he might just go out there and run a 4.3. And if you remember, Lamar Jackson did not run the 40 for those specific reasons. But I agree. I would love to see him go out there and compete and take the combine by storm. The other one guy real quick I want to sneak in who we didn't mention, Quinn Ewers. He dealt with that oblique injury throughout the season. He opted in now for the combine. He's going to throw. So there's a guy, his draft stock is almost all the way down in day 3 now. So there's a guy who could, have a window of opportunity to move up a little bit here in Indy.
Rick Saratella will wrap up with Rick on the other side with a couple other combine notes. There's a lot of buzz about who's going to be the fastest player at the combine, and there's a lot of hype from a speed perspective about Arian Smith, and pretty much like one of these players built for the combine. Some people are saying that he might be able to top Xavier Worthy's time from last year. That's going to be a real challenge to do, though. More with Rick Saratella on the other side. This is SportsRage. Bring it.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not beating the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on
We got a couple of minutes left only with Rick Saratella. Rick, I want to ask you about, there was a story that an NFL team, and listen, this has come up for a little while. Some people don't like the brotherly shove. They don't think it's football, but it's been reported that it was the Green Bay Packers that are the ones that were the most adamant that this play should be taken out of the game. Nick Sirianni says that, they put a lot of work into this play, and it's not that it is football, that, they found it insulting that people are trying to ban this play. Where do you stand on the brotherly shove play?
So I thought that the most factual statement made about the whole play was made by Nick Sirianni. I think at the Super Bowl, he said, listen, you've got to have the right players to execute this play. It's not just a byproduct of how the Eagles do it. Like they've drafted and acquired and put the right players in place to make it successful. So if it was a cheat code, every team would do it. Every team would be successful at it. Now, because you can't stop this one specific particular team that's really good at it, you want to ban it. So I guess the Philadelphia Eagles are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
They want to change the rules. Yeah, like Maurice Richard scored too much on the power play. In the NHL, used to you sit in the box. The other team could score multiple goals. And teams complain. The Canadians once scored 6 goals on a power play. And they're, it's not fair. It's like, wow, you want to change the rules? And they did.
If you don't like it, stop it.
And
when I'm in
like you said, too, I saw my Buffalo Bills. We got Josh Allen. We tried to run it. And we got stopped. You know what I'm saying?
Fire the mud.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Like, if it's this thing that, it can't be stopped, and it's not fair, then how come every team doesn't do it? Because they can't. Right? They can't. Right? Otherwise, they would.
I don't recall Kenny Pickett coming in and being this unstoppable tush push. I mean, listen.
I like what Jason Kelsey said. He goes, "That's not a fun play either." He goes, "I'm getting crushed under there." Right? He didn't like it. He was like, "I got literally 3,000 pounds on top of me after that play is over."
Yeah, and they drafted a guy in Cam Jurgens that is like a mini Jason Kelsey, right? So kudos to Philadelphia for identifying talent. And when I go out there to Green Bay for the draft, I'm going to go talk. Who's the GM over there? I'm going to go see Cootencast, whatever. Kleenex. Let's go get you a new sponsorship. Kleenex. Green Bay Packers. Brought to you by Kleenex. Come on, buckle up.
It was a Goutenhurst or whatever. The guy Aaron Rodgers doesn't like. The guy, we'll put it that way, back to Aaron Rodgers to do the clash there. But one thing I will say, I don't have a problem with the brotherly shove. I'm not asking to ban it. But I do think, Rick, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I think we've gotten a little too rugby-ish at times there, where the pile just gets pushed and pushed, right? And the defense is at a massive disadvantage. They smoke someone late, it's a penalty. Yet these offenses, the offensive line, I'm not talking about the brotherly shove, but you see it down the field and stuff, where everybody's just pushing each other. That's not really football. To me, it has gotten a little bit too rugby-ish, where I think the refs should call these plays dead quicker than they do.
Well, I think the one critique I would have is the pre-snap formation that they get away with. They've got 2 people on each side of Hurts, and then another guy, 2 more guys behind him, and all of a sudden it's.
That's a good point. How is it not an illegal formation? Right? You got this little triangle around him. You're right.
It's they got 4 guys. Next thing you know, there's 5 guys.
They're set up, right? I mean, they're not moving, so they're set up.
Yeah. I mean that would be my critique of it. But if you don't like it, do better. I mean, only one team is doing it at a high level, so that's my take.
We only got a minute left, but there's a lot of buzz about the fastest player at the combine. Arian Smith, guys, keep your eye on this kid. He's a little, literally a nationally ranked track and field star in high school on the U.S. team. He could have been in the Olympics. He's that fast, that good. He wants to be in the National Football League, Rick, and he understands. He says, now I'm working on, catching passes in traffic. He was on the Georgia Bulldogs. He hauled in 48 catches, but he also had 10 drops last year. But some people think he might be able to beat Worthy's all-time 4.21 time.
I do believe he has a very good chance. We say it every year. These guys get bigger, faster, stronger. Almost every year there's been a contender to break that 40-yard dash, and I do think Arian Smith can do that. Okay, we're going to have to get him some of that Freddie Biletnikoff stick-em for his hands, but you can't teach speed, and NFL teams are always going to desire that. I will say Isaiah Bond.
We got to get out of here. Isaiah Bond fast as hell too. I know.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not being the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazi? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, 70-64 right now for the Los Angeles Lakers. We told you that Kyrie was going to go off. I already liked him to go off today. I'm on every day with Pharrell, and we go over the games and stuff. And I was like, yeah, everyone's going to talk about Luka, but I said, watch Kyrie just go off tonight. And then on top of it, I saw him soaking up the Kobe Bryant statue before the game outside the arena, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely going off. He's got 25 points right now. His prop was 26.5. He's got 25 points. There's 6 minutes left in the third. And now the Dallas Mavericks have played themselves back into this game. Fun game at the Crypt tonight. And the Mavericks just hit a big three-point shot to cut the lead to 3. Let me just get people caught up to date with the stats right now for all you prop players. I know there's a lot of triple-double players. For Luka tonight. He's going to get there. Luka Doncic's got 16 points right now. He's got 12 rebounds, and he's got 8 assists. So he's going off from a stat perspective. His scoring prop tonight closed at 30.5 for the record. LeBron James has 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist. As far as the Mavericks are concerned, they're being led by Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's dropped 25 points, 8 of 16 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3 tonight, 25 points. We also played Klay Thompson over 13.5 points we gave you as part of the best bet package before the game tonight. And Klay had a slow start, but he's up to 11 right now, actually. So we need 3 more from Klay. We need 2 more from Kyrie. And we couldn't resist jumping in on Luka over 30.5 when it was all said and done. He's at 16, so that could be kind of close right now. Let's bring in our boy Mokan. Calls basketball, CEBL, play-by-play voice, TSN statistician, former wide receiver. Mo, always a pleasure. How you doing tonight, Mo?
Gabe, I'm wild. By the way, I loved your Canucks hoodie that you wore on the weekend on your road trip over there.
That's what I said.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll bust that out. We'll bust that out on the program one of these nights. Yeah, we got a lot of compliments. I definitely can't commit a crime wearing that. It's very bright. But
you're done.
Like you people stick out everywhere wearing that thing. But old school Canucks. It's actually better than the team is right now, unfortunately. Canucks have been very streaky, and now they're in their one of little panic streaks. And then they get good, and then it's a panic streak again. But it hasn't been a great start for them. But what do you think of this basketball game right now? All the talk about Luka, but the Mavericks are hanging around. They were down by like 16, 17 at one point. But then they went on a run, and they made a game of it, 70-67 right now, midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, you're seeing the Mavericks throw different looks at Luka, right? And Vince Carter made the exact same point, boxing one, zone, double team, crashing down on him, forced him to make plays, which he has, right? At halftime, it was, 12-7, whatever it was. And he's on his way to a triple-double. But you just see that Luka wants this game, guys, right? From the jump, the first shot, it was a three-pointer. He airmailed one of his shots. He makes a three, looks at the Mavericks bench, saying, bleep you guys for trading on me and stuff. But, like at the end of the day, when you look at both teams right now, if Anthony Davis is healthy, this Mavs team is in that conversation to be an NBA contender in the West, right? The Lakers are going to be competitive, but I don't know if they have enough quality depth that can keep up in that West. And that goes, 5-6 teams deep, guys, when we get to April playoffs here. So I think right now, both teams are fascinating to watch, but I think the Mavs for today are going to be the team to watch out for towards May and June. And maybe down the road, the Lakers will be the team to watch out for once they build around Luka and get him some players to work with.
It's amazing what J.J. Redick has stepped into. Life of the Lakers coach is unreal, like on a day-to-day basis. Like you don't know. Like, you know what I mean? You're dealing with LeBron. People like question your hiring. You got the Bronny situation. Now suddenly you got Luka and J.J. Redick might be the one left standing after LeBron is gone in a couple of years here, and it's Luka's team, right? So it's all how does he get along with Luka after. But, the Mavericks are bringing it tonight. And I tell you, after they hit that last three, the Mavericks bench was really fired up. Like, they want to win this game, too. It's fun. The NBA needs competition like this. So our boy Mo Khan in the house with us. We got college basketball going on. Right now, Santa Clara guys are leading Gonzaga 24-20 with 11 minutes left in the first half. In-game totals 175.5. It's a real track meet. And as expected, New Mexico and San Diego State are super close. Aztecs are leading 17-16 right now. Mo, what's your early March Madness prediction? Which teams do you like to make the Final Four and cut down the nets?
People are buying St. John's, right? They sniped down UConn on the weekend. They beat them twice this year, and Rick Pitino has this team playing fairly well, right? And if they hit the 3-point ball, guys, and that's been the key so far for the Red Storm is that long range shooting. If they hit the ball well enough, maybe not Final Four, but they can get to the Elite Eight and maybe test themselves towards the Final Four. But Duke right now looks like the team to beat, guys, with what they have built up. They crushed Miami tonight. They got UNC coming up, I think, in 8-9 days, and that's a big one for UNC if they want to get into the tournament. They got to get that quad one win for them, and they've been hot of late. But that ACC is fascinating because you look at Clemson as well and what they could do. Are they a real deal? Or are they a fake ID? We're going to find out whether it's in the ACC tournament or in the early rounds of the March Madness if they're a real deal or not. But look, the SEC is the best right now, guys, for what they've built up. And I think the Big 12 overall has been underrated. That Houston-Texas Tech game that we had earlier this week was fun to watch. So there's some compelling storylines going towards the final 10 days before conference play begins for tournament watch. It'll be fascinating to see how the Blue Bloods like KU and UNC, if they can make a bigger run to better their case getting into the tournament in 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, they're a fun team. They're a fun team, St. John's.
Big time. So what, Mo, you take Duke over Auburn right now? Like straight up pick them? They're murdering teams right now. Like, and they're getting better and better and better all the time. Gabe brought up a good point too. The SEC could cannibalize itself, and like you see the worst team, South Carolina, they take out Texas, and look at tonight. Georgia beats Florida outright as a 6.5-point dog.
Yeah, that was a bad loss for Florida, right? I mean, Florida just missed shots against Georgia in the first half and never recovered. And it's funny because we talk about SEC football, right, and how it's been cannibalizing each other this past year in the football season. The same thing has been applied now in basketball, right? And that's going to be fascinating to see in the SEC tournament. If you win that tournament, do you jump certain teams? Because, guys, people want to get out of this tournament. They don't want to play another 4 or 5 games on their body and want to be one and done. But in this case of how close it is in the SEC, Is it better off to win that you get a better ranking and you avoid being in a tougher region going towards March Madness? So it'll be fascinating to see what Auburn does, Alabama, and what Florida does in particular, if they're going to really go all for it in the SEC tournament in Nashville coming up.
You know which St. John's player has won the most NBA championships?
Oh, God. So, man, not Mark Jackson, Chris Mullen.
Not Ron Artest, Mullen. How many has he won?
My main man, Bill Wennington, three-time NBA champion,
Oh,
St.
right,
John's.
Bill Wennington, straight up winner at every level.
Yeah.
I love Bill Wennington.
Pretty crazy. Bill St. John's, yeah, like there's a lot of great players, but they lost in the championship. And I'm thinking back, I might not know something from the 50s or something like that. I'm actually looking at the list here. It's pretty crazy, though. Like, even the list of players that have won 3 championships in the NBA is not a big one. It goes down, quickly. Bill Russell, 11, Sam Jones, 10. There's a few with 8. There's a 3 with 7. There's a bunch of players with 6. Mm-hmm. The 6 is an interesting one. Kareem, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, George Mikan. You had some big-time players there. Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, Dennis Rodman, Ron Harper, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan. Then you get, the 5 list. There's a 5 list there, but you get to the 3s. But I was kidding about Bill Wennington being the best Canadian player earlier. He was one of the only Canadian players, really, right?
Exactly. Yes.
To be honest, I think he was the only Canadian in the league at the time. But he was on the Chicago Bulls. He was on the Bulls, but he was good enough to stay on the Bulls. It wasn't like he was just a passer.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented, but 37-20, it's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not beating the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team, and I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks, or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. The Twisted Tuesday continues. We've been jam-packed tonight. We were talking NFL draft with Rick Saratella, and they're slowly but surely starting to put some numbers up. And now we've got a bunch of combine props that are starting to pop up right now, as well as where Aaron Rodgers is going to end up. And there's a lot of legitimate candidates for him right now, right? Like there's, Aaron Rodgers been connected, the Pittsburgh Steelers potentially, if they don't figure things out with Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields, which is a weird situation they have going on there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers ends up with the Pittsburgh Steelers personally. I've always thought that the Raiders were always in play. The Titans are in play. Now there's talk, Mo, if Matt Stafford ends up getting traded, which he probably does, right? Let's just be real. I think Matt Stafford is about to get traded right now. Just for people tuning in, wondering what the deal with Matt Stafford is and the Rams. He's 37 years old, but he's still good. And we see he's still good. But his whole deal is up right now, essentially. And a lot of it was like he got paid a lot of money from the Rams. They won the Super Bowl from this Jared Goff deal, but he got a lot of money up front from them. And at the back end, he's only making $23 million this year. And he doesn't have a contract for next year. And the Rams don't want to give him an extension. Just like they don't want to give him $50 million a year for the next 3 years. Sean McVay and the Rams are pretty shrewd, man. They threw Jared Goff under the bus. Like, you know what I mean? They'll throw him under the bus and they'll go get someone else and they'll be good with someone else after. That's the way they look at it. Plus, they think they can get a first-round draft pick, which I think is a little excessive, but supposedly that's what they want, a first-round draft pick for Matt Stafford. So now the Rams are actually the favorite to land Aaron Rodgers. They're plus 180. The Steelers are plus 180. The Raiders are plus 300. The Titans are plus 800. And then the Vikings are 10-1 and the Niners are 10-1. What's your this week's prediction for Aaron Rodgers, Mo? Because it changes every week. What's this week's prediction?
Like, if the Rams think they're A-Rod away from going to the Super Bowl next year in San Fran, I mean, they'll pull the trigger, right? Remember, they brought in Stafford for the reason that they felt Jared Goff was not good enough. And lo and behold, they were right. They won the Lombardi afterwards with Stafford as quarterback. But this is the situation now for the Rams. They are a super young team that has a great young nucleus to work with. But the question is, if you bring in an A-Rod, can he adapt well, right? He's got Puka Nacua to work with, but can he stay healthy? He's got a really good running game to work with. And does he still have that energy in him to maybe have one more kick at the can under the McVay offense? And is he going to comply to what McVay wants for that system? If he doesn't want to do that, it's not going to be a really good marriage to work with. It is fascinating, though. But again, he's going to have to go to a team that's ready to win now. Tennessee's nowhere near that. The Raiders are definitely nowhere near that. And the thing is, if A-Rod goes to the Rams, does Devontae Adams follow him to L.A.? Like, there's so many variables to look at for A-Rod right now. And I think with the baggage that comes with them, is a team willing to accept it for 1 year for a chance to maybe win that ring come next February?
It's strange that Rodgers, it appeared like it was kind of over, right? I mean, the Jets, it was a complete disaster with the Jets. He reportedly was pretty upset about how it ended, right? Like right. That it wasn't confrontational. Like he didn't tell them, hey, it was more like, listen, I really we could do this. I really could be better. And there was the reports that they brought up, listen, you go on the McAfee show every week, you tell everybody everything. Like there was a lot of, stuff that the Jets didn't like, and they just said, we decided to move on. But he was supposedly upset about it and not like in a confrontational way. And that he sort of gets, he's not calling the shots now. But now suddenly, guys, there's a bunch of teams that someone's going to want him. There's there's not enough quarterbacks in this draft to go around that can start like next September for you. And say what you will about Rodgers, but you can start next September for a football team. I don't get the feeling that it's the Rams, though, personally.
I like the Rams, Gabe.
I think McVay would go a different direction.
The thing is, their defense is young. They've drafted well. You got Fisk and all. Look at their defensive line. They're killers. Those two guys from Florida State, Verse and Fisk, these guys are amazing. All their secondary guys are young. Every guy they drafted is a starter. Their defense, 49ers are regressing. Seattle still has a long way to go. And
he's a downgrade at the Cardinals. He's a downgrade he's a downgrade to Matt Stafford.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he is.
A lot bit. He's nowhere near as good as Matt Stafford is anymore.
No,
he's still okay.
Yeah,
he's not. Yeah, so it's not like this is some great deal for the Rams to bring him in. It's great for Aaron Rodgers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it would be a great golden parachute for him to land with Sean McVay. But if I'm Sean McVay, I mean, I'm thinking, you know what? I could work with Danny Jones. I could work with Sam Darnold. I could work with a lot of different guys, right? And working with Jimmy G might be a little bit of a stretch, but
the Titans makes no sense because they're so far away. That's just stupid. Why the hell would he go to Tennessee? This team can't even, like, they're awful, right? And I know I bet them this year too many times, but, like, what's he going to do? Just go to Tennessee and get murdered? Like, he's got to go to a team that at least, what's his window? 1 year?
Yeah, Tennessee want to be good, though. And they have the number one pick in the draft as well.
True.
So Tennessee are holding a lot of positive cards right now.
Here's the key clue, guys, right? Usually we see a big trade up the board at this time. You're just after the combine going towards free agency period here, right? So which team's willing to fork over the picks, move up to number one? Because Tennessee is open for business to move out of one to maybe acquire more picks to work with, because you guys both are correct. They are nowhere near competitive to be in that conversation in the AFC as we speak. So who's going to make that move up? And if someone does move up, that means A-Rod and Stafford have one less team to look at as being a destination for them to play with come September 5th.
Yeah, you know, they play in a really bad division, and they did spend money. Like, they spent money. Like, they're a football team whose quarterback probably cost them about 4 football games last year, if not more, right? I mean, there were just constant turnovers and constant just bad situations. I know their defense needs to get better, but they do have some talent on the offensive side of the ball. It's a terrible division. Who knows what they're going to do with the top pick?
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not being the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Forget about it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. I didn't even realize we only got a couple of minutes left, man. Time has just flown by here this evening. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers' player props. There's props up for Cooper Kupp. Which team is Cooper Kupp going to be on? Denver Broncos 3-1, Commanders plus 400, Steelers plus 450, Chargers plus 500. You got a Deebo Samuel player prop up, Myles Garrett. I don't see the Buffalo Bills. I tell you, I don't see the Seattle. You want to talk about a team? The Buffalo Bills aren't on the Myles Garrett list. Sam Darnold's actually the favorite for the Raiders. Sam Darnold, Mo's team. Sam Darnold, Raiders plus 200, Steelers plus 250, Vikings. Vikings are another one. I believe the Vikings are moving on. Like they're not going to pay him this big money. They'll go with J.J. McCarthy. They drafted J.J. If he didn't blow up in those last two games, I think he'd be different. But I think he, so you Mo, would you say Sam Darnold, Raiders plus 200?
Yeah, that's a good prop line to look at. I think right now for the Raiders, like they're going to throw out a lot of smoke screens because people are still projecting
Pete Carroll too. Pete Carroll and Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah, USC. The
USC days.
And look, the Raiders today at Combine, Spytek and Carroll, they didn't shy away. They want to build the running game, right? So if there's Ashton Genty at 6, or the kid from UNC in the second round, the kid from Iowa. It's a deep running back class, and this might be the seminal moment for this position to have a reintegration, guys, as being a top-end pick and how it's been the last 10, 12 years at that position group. So I think for the Raiders right now, you have to think that if Genty's there at 6 and they have their quarterback in Darnold, he might be the play for them to help refurbish their running game, which was lackluster last season with nothing to work with what they had.
O'Marion Hampton out of North Carolina, he will be a first-round pick. Everyone's talking about Genty, but you'll see Hampton's going to get selected in the first. There's some wild odds. They keep changing. You could bet which team is going to pick first overall, who's going to be the number one pick overall, and it's Cam Ward at minus 140. I don't think Tennessee are going to take Cam Ward, personally. I think if Tennessee hang on to the pick, I think they'll take Abdul Carter or they're going to take Travis Hunter. That's just my gut feel.
I agree.
And I don't know what they'll do with the quarterback. Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to bring in a vet. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't go back to Will Levis. And, like, Tennessee are in a weird spot here about what they're going to do. What's your prediction as of right now, Mo? First overall pick in the draft. Who's it going to be?
Callahan did not draft Levis, so he has that ace, right? And the new GM also has that ace in the back pocket. Say, we can take our quarterback and grow with that guy. Now, if it's Cam Ward, who I think will go before Shedeur Sanders now, that can be the play. And if Cam goes 1, that really puts a wrench for the Giants to say, do they take the quarterback at 3, Shedeur, who's in the New York market? Because I think the Giants want to hope to have Shedeur and Cam fall to them at 3 and decide at that point we can take either or at that moment. So I think right now the Titans are going to be fascinating to watch. And look, Combine Week, guys, that's where the parameters were laid down, the foundation pieces of what they want to build from that line perspective of who they're going to have as quarterback, who's going to be traded, who's going to be drafted, who's going to be signed by March 20th of the new league year. So I think Tennessee is going to be fascinating to watch this week and what they talk about and who they look at from a quarterback or from a skill position set point.
Yeah, they've done a very good job, Tennessee, of no one really knows, right? Yeah. They could trade the pick. They could take this guy, that guy. Like, they've really been all over the place, which that's what you want to do. But you're right about the Giants. The Giants are going to be the ones that are sort of like really, really in a weird spot. You know, the Rams are going to pressure them. Like, they're going to have to make up their mind. Do you want to go with Stafford? Are you going to hope that you get Shedeur Sanders 3rd overall in the draft? There's a lot up in the air there. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. And I look forward to all these props popping up. All right, we got a great game going on, 80-79 still right now. So the Mavericks are hanging around. They're getting 5.5 of the game. Remember, I warned about the total slowing down. It was 223. It's now 205.5. Laker games always slow down at the end. Santa Clara up 40-32 on Gonzaga. Gonzaga really stumbling down the stretch now. And there's still 4 minutes left in the first half, so very high-scoring game. San Diego State are up 28-23 right now. Cam, last 2 nights, I didn't bet the TGL. It was on. It was a doubleheader last night, and they played again tonight. Did you bet it tonight?
Yeah, no, I did. I bet the earlier game with Atlanta, Gabe, but I'm telling you, watch out. The dogs are coming in. At the start, it was all favorites and whatever, but it started with that Tiger Woods win. A lot of underdogs now, Morency, cashing, and 2 times, teams down two holes or more have come back at win at crazy prices. Live betting the dogs has been great.
This TGL final should be coming up pretty soon. There should be the playoffs around the corner. The season wasn't that long to begin with. All right, good stuff, Mo. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for kicking it with us this evening. 80-79, 10 minutes left in the NBA game. Let's rock. Other than that, you're on your own later.